Hey, how's it guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are starting from the beginning with my channel overhaul. I hope you like it. I started back in 2018 after hearing some people say some things, which at the time, from my own experiences in this life, did not comport with reality. So, I heard one debunker talk about observations and how observations alone was enough. I started taking the photos. At the time, I arbitrarily chose 5 p.m. At the time, I assumed that 5 p.m. at my location, the sun will still be above the horizon. But long before me, or anything we have today, precise instruments, satellites, before we even gave everything names, the people watched the sky. Not to argue, not to explain, but because they had to. Back then, watching the skies was survival. Because the sun told them when the day began and ended. The stars told them which way they were facing. And the seasons, when life was about to get harder or easier. What those people saw is also what we see today. The sky still moves the same way. What changed is how we look at it. I didn't start out trying to prove anything. At the time, I wasn't even aware of any of the experiments that were already done. I just thought, well, I'm in the so called non existent southern hemisphere. I can do this. And I did. Day after day, more often than not, I took photos and more photos. And slowly, quietly, patterns started showing themselves. The sun didn't just rise or set. Over the year, it changes where it does that. And the sun doesn't wander aimlessly or endlessly either. It reaches limits. It slows down. And then it turns around and heads back the other way every year. That's not something we need modern technology to see. We don't need equations. We don't need authority. We just need time and the willingness to come back tomorrow. Once I started noticing the patterns with the sun, I began to notice it elsewhere too. It almost became like an obsession. The atmosphere has its own patterns. For example, most times in my observations, the clouds don't just sit flat, they don't just stay overhead. From horizon to horizon, they form an arc, as you can see from this live demonstration. It doesn't happen every time because the atmosphere is very temperamental, very dynamic. The clouds are at the whim of the wind, but it happens consistently enough where the pattern, being from horizon to horizon forming an arc, happens often enough that we can deduce certain things. I thought to myself that I'm not going to look for the scientific answers yet. I am going to make the observations myself and then get the explanations that are in line with the observations. So, one thing I realized is that these systems aren't random. Random does not apply to these observations. Look, guys, long before me, long before now, people noticed these things. Before cameras, before clocks, people noticed. What matters isn't who noticed it first. What matters is that there are patterns to be discovered, whether we argue about them or not. So, this series starts here, with watching the skies, not concluding, not debating, just watching, patterns emerging, refusing to disappear. And this is not about trust. Choose a time, choose a place, stand there, look out at the sky, come back tomorrow. This is the ancient way of learning, observing first, noticing what's happening, and then coming to some conclusion that comports with reality. And it still works. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, like and subscribe. These are real observations made from the Southern Hemisphere, where apparently I don't exist. Please be safe. See you soon. Bye.